Menstrual syndrome. So many of us suffer from different combinations of symptoms that happen when our hormones dip during our cycles. Myself personally, I deal with anxiety, insomnia, irritability, fatigue for about a week every month. And I found that a consistent active yoga practice during the other 3 weeks is really wonderful for helping diminish the symptoms. But during that week, I really need to start to slow things down and have a more conscious, earthy, grounded, feminine practice. So today I've put together a sequence that will not only bring the oxygenated blood into your reproductive organs, release healthy hormones, but also calm the central nervous system. Hopefully it will really help you ground and release some of the tension and anxiety you might be feeling during this time. So start in a simple cross-legged position. And let's just take a moment to ground down. So bring your palms to your heart in Anjali Mudra or prayer position. Close down your eyes. Turn inwards. Just notice what's happening internally without any kind of judgment or criticism, without making up any story around it. And then drop into your deep breath, breathing down into your belly and softening all of your muscles as you exhale. Throughout our class today, we will emphasize our exhalation. So lengthen the out-breath. It could become almost twice as long as the in-breath. Breathing in and out through the nose, long, deep, smooth breath. Take about 3 more of these long breaths, reconnecting with your internal compass. And now as you're ready, just gently release your hands, open your eyes, and take your shins a little bit further forward to the front of the mat so that they become parallel with the front edge. And then you could take the extra flesh from out underneath your buttocks, and we'll just softly fold forward here. So let the head hang, drape the spine, release any tension from your shoulders, arms, turn the palms up in a gesture of receptivity. And then without forcing or over-efforting, just allow time and gravity to fold you in and down a little bit more. Hopefully you'll start to feel your inner thighs or outer hips release breath by breath. Much of our class today will be focused on this area of the body. Check in with your neck. If it's still holding, let the head be heavier, softer. Let's take about 3 more long, deep breaths here. And then slowly and gently with the next in-breath, start to roll up. Between sides, let's roll out the shoulders. So take your shoulders straight up to your ears and then back and down, up, back, down. Let it feel nurturing and releasing. Up, back, and down. Cross opposite shin in front. And then once again, allow yourself just to drape forward, soft and heavy. Keep your weight back into the hips. Let the head dangle. And then start to send your breath into the place of sensation. So probably outer hips or inner thighs. Let the breath irrigate these areas. Lengthening each exhalation with each out-breath, folding inwards a little bit further. Sometimes the most healing and most rejuvenating thing that we can do for ourselves is just to slow down, to turn inwards, and to recognize that we have a continuous pulsation, an inner flow that happens within us regardless of our outside circumstances. So this class will help you reconnect with that. Take one more breath here. And then with the next in-breath, slowly roll up. Take all the time you need. And now we'll stretch the neck. So drop your right ear to your right shoulder, keeping the rest of the spine nice and long. Feel the stretch through the left side of the neck. And then slowly draw the chin down towards the chest. Take your time. And we'll take a left ear to left shoulder, slow and steady movements. Keep your deep breath flowing. Pause here for a little extra time, stretching the right side of the neck. Keep the rest of the spine long, even as you draw the chin back towards the chest. And the right ear to the right shoulder. Let the head float back up to center. You can scoot your shins in a little bit more, and we'll start what I call a Sufi grind. So take your hands on your knees. And then just make little circles, first through the tailbone, and then through the side waist. Let the circles increase, getting a little bit bigger. Use your breath, moving now through the rib cage. You can also use your hands to push and pull off the knees, getting the shoulders involved. And then finally the head and neck. We're just warming up the spine, getting some fluidity into the body. Come back through center, and then start your circles the other direction. First, tiny little circles just grinding down at the tailbone, then through the belly and the side waist, then through the rib cage and heart, finally through the shoulders, head and neck. Again, push and pull off the knees. Really bring that movement into the whole spinal column. And then come on back to center, please. Simple open twist. Right hand, left knee. Left hand behind the back. Use that left hand to press into the earth. Lift tall through the spine. And then without cranking or over-efforting, just a simple, gentle twist over to the left. Keep the left shoulder moving back. Chin parallel to the ground. Reach tall through the top of the head. Twist around that length one more time. With your next in-breath, unwind all the way over to the other side. Left hand, right knee, right hand behind the back. Again, lift up through the spine first, and then around that length, start to twist. Soft, gentle, easy. Use your in-breath to lengthen. Use your out-breath to rotate, rinse, and wring. Let's take one more like this. Exhale completely. And with the inhalation, come on back through center. Good. Now extend your right leg out and fold the left knee in. If this is hard on your left knee, you're welcome to extend the leg out straight. Let's take both hands to either side of the right leg, and then for a moment, just lift up through the spine, get lots of length. With that length, start to rotate your torso over the leg so the belly button turns towards the right, shoulders square. From there, anchor down through the left hip, and then fold forward over the leg. Let there be some activity in that leg. Pull the toes back towards your head and press your calf down firmly to the ground. Then anchor down once again through the left hip so that you start to feel that long, deep stretch through the left lower back, that area which can be so sticky and stuck, especially when we're in this PMS time. Continue to draw your right rib cage up and out of the way. Drop the left rib cage a little bit further. Send your breath down deep into the belly, into the reproductive organs, down into the lower back. And then finally, last deep breath here, allow your head to hang a little bit further. Exhale, nice and long. With your next in-breath, come up slowly. Let's turn this more into a side stretch by sliding the right elbow down the right leg. If it touches the inside of the knee, great. If not, no big deal. It doesn't really matter how far down you go. If you've got the elbow to the inside of the knee, you can press the knee and elbow together and then start to roll the left rib cage up. Then the left arm comes up, palm turns down and reaches overhead. Remember to soften both shoulders away from the ears. Continue to ground down through the left side waist and left hip, and then stretch through the left side body. Let's take one last deep inhalation here. Long, smooth exhalation. With your next in-breath, let the left arm draw you all the way back up. Let's take gate pose as a transition. Left hand presses to the earth about a foot away from your left hip. Then really ground down through the right foot. Press all contact points into the earth and lift up, buoyant through the hips. Reach right arm up overhead and then turn it over the ear, palm facing down. Stretching right side body, one long breath. And release. Okay, let's switch it out. Left leg out, right leg in. Sit up tall. Both hands to either side of the left leg. Now bring your attention to your core, to your navel, and spin it over the left thigh. Anchor down through the left hip. Fold forward. Draw right rib cage towards the leg as the left rib cage lifts up out of the way. And then release your head, heavy and soft. Engage the left leg, pull toes back towards your head and ground the calf. Straighten out through that knee as much as you can. Again, we're not concerned with range of motion so much here, as much as a long, smooth breath into the places that need it. So send your breath into your belly, into your right side low back, or wherever you feel this the most. One more like this. Exhale completely. Inhale, come up through the torso. Keep your lower body just as it is. Slide the left arm into the left knee or as close as possible. Start to rotate your rib cage up. Right arm reaches up and overhead. Now there's a tendency to draw the shoulders close up to the ears. Soften them down again. Anchor down through the right hip and start to spin your heart up towards the sky. Last deep breath. Exhale completely. Inhale, let the right arm draw you up. Plant the hand, gate pose. Left foot to the ground. Press down to reach high. Opening up through the left side body now. Left arm up overhead. Stretch, let it feel good. And then come down slowly. Let's come into all fours. So you can roll right over your ankles or get there in whatever way works for you. And once you arrive, make sure your hands are right underneath your shoulders with your fingers spread firmly into the ground. Then the knees are right underneath the hips. You can tuck your toes underneath if you'd like. We'll start a few rounds of cat and cow. Exhale out all of your air now. With your inhalation, let the tailbone lift, the belly lengthen, open the heart, and look up. With the exhalation, tuck tailbone, chin, and pull your navel up to the spine, rounding through your back body. Again, inhale, cow pose. And the nice, long, smooth exhale, cat pose. 2 more like this, please. Try not to lock out the elbows. Let the tailbone initiate your movement here. Let the movement feel so good and nurturing to your body and mind and spirit. After your next cat pose, come back to a long neutral spine, tabletop. If this is stressing your wrists at all, at this point you could come into fists. And then everyone take your right leg back. Take an inhalation, lift the heart, mini cow pose here. With the exhalation, draw your knee to your nose, rounding into cat. 3 more times. Inhale, extend back, open through the front body. Exhale, pull it all in together. And again, reach and lengthen. Exhale, we're bringing the blood towards the reproductive organs. 1 more time, please. Look up. And this time, just release the knee to the earth. Let's take it to the other side. Inhale, extend left leg back and up, open your heart. Exhale, knee to nose, crouching and rounding the back body. 3 more times. Inhale, extend. Exhale, round. Inhale, reach and lengthen, open the heart. Exhale, make yourself into a tight little ball. Last time, extend and reach. And this time, exhale, release the knee. Tuck your toes underneath, bring your feet together, and then sit back onto your heels to open the soles of the feet. Reach the arms up overhead, and then take them behind your back, interlace the fingers, roll the shoulders back, and open the heart. Let's spend 3 long breaths here. Feel free to drop your chin a little closer to your chest to open the back of the neck. And then release, come off the feet, and prepare for downward facing dog. Now, if you've got a block, you might want to bring it handy. If you don't worry about it. You don't really need it. To prepare for down dog, come back into all fours, and then take either your hands forward a couple inches or your knees back a little bit. Then tuck the toes underneath. Press the hips up and back, making an upside down V with the body. Now for a moment, you can bend one knee and then the other, kind of walk out the dog. And then settle in so that the heels are moving towards the earth. Hips are moving up and back. If you've got a block, go ahead and grab it now and place it right underneath your forehead. Again, if you don't have a block, don't worry, no big deal. Let's take 5 long breaths here in this soothing pose. Continue to press the floor away from you, grounding through the inner edges of the hands. Then spin the outer shoulders away from the ears. Get a little more length through the side waist. Shine your sit bones up to the sky. Move the flesh of the buttocks down towards the heels, even as your kneecaps lift strongly up into the thighs. Final breath. Remove the block if you've got it there. And then everyone just start to walk your feet forward towards your hands. Come into a forward fold, Uttanasana. Let the feet be wide. Bring some weight forward to the balls of the feet. And then draw the hands around the elbows for a little extra weight through the upper body. Let the head hang completely. And then roll a little weight forward to the balls of the feet. Heels are light. We'll take some gentle pulsation here. Gently bend the knees, re-straighten the legs. Bend the knees, re-straighten the legs. Doesn't take much here to start to open the backs of the legs. Little tiny pulses with the breath. Long, deep exhalations through the nose. And then we'll step back into downward facing dog. Step your feet long, press the floor away from you with the hands. Drop the head heavy, and then feel the clear alignment of the spine as you lengthen. 3 long breaths. Turning the world upside down for a moment. It's always good to get a new perspective. And we're allowing the nutritious blood to come into the brain. Let's take a squat. So walk your hands back towards your feet now. Take your feet a little bit wider, turning toes out and heels in. Now you're welcome to keep your fingertips on the ground here if you need. If you're able, bring the palms together in front of your heart. Elbows into the inner thighs. Lift the heart up into the hands and roll your shoulders back. I like to take a little back and forth rocking motion in my squat, getting the synovial fluid to rush through the joints, the hip joints. Feels good. Ground down through the feet. Allow the earth just to absorb any tension you've been holding. And from our squat, we'll move into child's pose. Touch down, untuck the toes, bring them behind you with the knees wide. Then draw your hips way back into your heels. Let's make this a bit more of an active child's pose. So walk your arms forward, so much that the forearms pop up off the ground. You're resting on your fingertips. Remember to drop your forehead to the earth. If it doesn't touch the earth, go ahead and put it on a book or a sweatshirt. Should be touching down to something. Then walk the arms forward a little bit more, drag the hips back a little bit more to lengthen this through the side waist. Soften shoulders down away from ears, and let your belly just hang between your thighs. Final deep breath here in child's, ground down. Now we'll come forward onto our belly for some gentle belly down back bends. So we'll start with cobra pose. Come on down onto your belly and bring your hands just about nipple height by your rib cage. Drop the chin to begin, roll your shoulders up and back and down, squeezing the elbows behind you. Now squeeze your legs together like a long cobra tail and plug all 10 toenails into the ground. Anchor down through your pubic bone as well, lengthening through the lower back. Take a deep inhalation. Exhale it all out. With your next in-breath, start to peel the upper body up, leading with the shoulders. Shoulders up, back, and down. Very little weight at all in the hands here. Maybe you could even take your hands up off the ground. Send your breath into your lower belly. And then slowly release, touch down. Let's take a variation of locust pose. Interlace your hands behind your back. Press your palms together, but keep your elbows soft. Continue to glue your feet down to the earth. Inhale to lengthen and ground. Exhale. With the next inhalation, lift just your upper body up off the ground. Shoulders back, fist back. Lift the heart, lift the gaze without crunching the back of your neck. Neck stays neutral. And then lift the corners of your mouth. Notice how a little levity through the emotional body can help the physical body become more buoyant. And gently release. Touch the chin to the earth, keep your hands bound. Full locust. Inhale, ground down through the pubic bone. Exhale, lengthen the belly. With your next in-breath, lift the heart just like you did before, and this time spread open the toes, engage the legs, and lift the lower body as well. Maybe you'll sense a little rocking motion as you breathe in and out of the belly. Let's take it a little bit higher for the last breath here. And then exhale, release. Okay, one more. Bend the knees. Clasp the outside edges of the feet for bow pose. Squeeze your inner thighs together like you're holding a block between them. Exhale out all of your air. With the next inhalation, lift by kicking. Kick the feet back into the hands. It doesn't matter how far up you go. Just keep kicking and stretching, rocking the weight into the soft part of the belly. One more deep breath, you can do it. Exhale, release, slow and soft. Child's pose, take the hands underneath the shoulders. Press back slowly. This time we'll take a soft and nurturing child's pose. You could even bring your knees together and your arms back by your sides. Palms up. Take a few breaths to slow your heartbeat. Come back into your body. Your hands back underneath your shoulders. Use your arms to press back into all fours, preparing for pigeon pose. For pigeon, let's take the right knee forward to the right wrist. So you'll have to slide your right foot up away from the left knee. Then draw that left knee back, straightening out the leg behind you. Make sure you're on the top of the back kneecap. Take some time to square the hips level to the earth. Then bring the hands out, forward and wide, coming up onto your fingertips. With the next inhalation, lift the heart, become proud. Exhale, dip the heart between your hands, touching forehead to the earth. Inhale, undulate the spine back up. Exhale, like a waterfall, come down slowly. One more time like this. Inhale up. Exhale, this time come down and make a little pillow for your head with your hands. We'll rest for a few breaths, releasing the tension from the outer hip and inner groin. If in pigeon pose you ever feel too much pressure on your front knee, please ease out of it and find another hip opener. Never okay to punish the knee for what the hip won't quite allow yet. Assuming your knee is feeling safe, spend one more deep, luscious breath, relaxing into this pose. And then with your next in-breath, use your hands and arms to press up. Come back to all fours. Slide the right knee back and the left knee forward to the outer left wrist. Guide that right leg back and make sure you're on the top of the back kneecap so that the hips can become square to the earth. Again, walk your hands forward and wide, come up onto your fingertips. Tune into the heart center and like a proud pigeon, inhale, lift up through the heart. With the exhalation, bow forward, slow and smooth like water. Inhale, come up, open. Exhale, get a little more depth this time as you come down. With the next in-breath, grow bright, lift up. Exhale, come down. Again, make a little pillow for your head to rest. Make sure that the hips are squared and then settle in. Find your breath. To rise, slowly and gently press up off the ground. This time we can just draw the weight back into the left hip. So sit down on your left hip and draw the right leg up, over, and around for Upavishta Konasana. So it's a wide-legged pose. Take the legs wide. Here we want to be massaging and taxing the tissues around the inner thighs It helps with hormonal balance. So with the legs wide, press out through the balls of the feet. Roll your kneecaps up. Try not to let them flop in. Then lengthen through the lower back. Lift up through the heart. And little by little start to fold forward. Again, it doesn't matter how far down you go. What's more important is the vibrancy through the legs, the openness through the heart and collarbones. Breath by breath, the body will open and allow you to fold inwards just a little bit more. Use that breath.
Te acompanha aonde quer que você vá.
If it works for you, you're welcome to drop down to your elbows. If you have a bolster or a pillow, you could also rest on it.
E ele te acompanha. E assim,
Let's take one more deep, refreshing inhalation.
para outras pessoas.
One more long, complete exhalation.
Você.
Inhale, come back up slowly. And we'll pause here for a moment for a little self-massage. So this area of the inner thigh, there's a little divot between the big muscle groups. Start with your hands to your inner knee and see if you can find that fleshy place. If so, start to make some little circles with your hands right in that area. This is especially good if you experience cramping during your premenstrual cycle. So little circles with moderate pressure from the inner knee up to the inner thigh. And at home, of course, you're welcome to pause the video and take a little bit longer for this. For now, we're going to move over to the other side. Into the inner knee. Find that place that's a little bit fleshy between the big muscle groups of the hamstrings and the quadriceps. And then with moderate pressure, move on up little circles. Good. Once that feels complete, bring your legs together for Paschimottanasana. We'll make this more of a yin-like pose by keeping the legs soft and floppy and then letting the upper body round. So let your upper body just softly round down with the head heavy. Just like our forward folds in the beginning of our session, you can release the tension from your arms. Let your palms turn up and shoulders melt. Notice the ebb and flow of your breath. With each inhalation, your body will naturally expand and lengthen. With each long exhalation, you can fold heavier and softer. We'll take about 3 more breaths like this. Inhale, slowly come up. Essentially, we're going to turn that pose upside down into halasana or plow pose. Now, those of you who have already started bleeding, your period has started, please skip this. Lie down on your back, find a more restive pose during this time. If you're before your cycle started in the premenstrual time, go ahead and turn upside down. If you've never done plow pose or shoulder stand, please watch me first and then come into it. So we'll scoot up a little bit, lie down onto the back, and then let the legs lift and come up overhead. Now, as soon as you lift your legs up overhead, please keep your gaze straight up and down, not turning the head side to side. Very important for the health of your neck. If the toes touch, tuck them under, lift the legs. If the toes don't touch, take your hands to your lower back for a little added support. Then everyone straighten out the knees, lift the hips a little bit higher and pull the belly in. You can stay in plow pose or you can come into shoulder stand by lifting the legs up. Draw the elbows closer in. Bring your hips, ankles, and shoulders in one line. Soften the feet. Lengthen the breath. Whether you're in plow pose or shoulder stand, slowly draw the knees down around your ears now for deaf man's pose. And then little by little, start to roll your spine down to the ground. No rush. Take it slow. Place the feet on the ground. Let them be wide so your knees can knock in together. And then take your fingertips to your lower belly and feel your breath. From here, we'll pause and rest in Supta Baddha Konasana. Fingertips can stay in the belly. Simply bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees flop out wide. So it's a reclined butterfly pose. Bring your attention to that lower belly reproductive organ area. And imagine just the light glowing from that sacred spot, softening any tension you've been holding there. We'll take just one more active pose before resting down. So let's start with wind relieving pose. Extend your left leg out long and heavy on the ground and hug your right knee up and in. Interlace the hands just below the kneecap. Use the strength of your arms to draw the knee up and around the rib cage towards the right armpit. Now notice your left hip. If it's popping up off the ground, anchor it down, flexing the left foot. Let your belly rise and fall on that right thigh. If you've got a strap today, you may want to use it now. If not, don't worry too much. You can always use a tie or a rope or nothing, whatever works. If you've got a strap, extend your leg up and lasso the strap around the arch of the foot. Supta Padangustasana. If you don't have a strap, you can hold on to the toe or just extend the leg up without holding on to anything. Transfer the strap or whatever you've got into your right hand. Keep your left hand on your left hip to remind it to stay grounded. And then start to slowly draw your right leg all the way over to the right to once again stretch the inner thigh. As the leg moves away from the hip, draw the femur bone, the thigh bone, back down into the hip socket. Then start to spin the whole leg out so that the toes come a little bit pointed towards the ground. Come on up slowly, pressing through the heel even as you come up. If you've got something around the foot, transfer it into the left hand and extend your right arm out. Preparing for a spinal twist, draw the straight right leg across your body, stacking right hip on top of left. Now this is a spinal twist. It's also an IT band stretch. To stretch the IT band, press back through the right hip even as you press the right foot in the opposite direction. Engage your core and bring the leg back up to center. Once the pelvis is neutral to the ground, just reach the left leg up and slide it into the strap if you're using one, transferring it, and then extend the right leg long to the ground. Now your strap should be in your left hand. Right hand can remain on the right hip. Let's take the left leg all the way out to the side. Keep the right hip grounded to really feel the stretch through the inner left thigh. Again, plug your femur bone into the hip socket and then externally rotate the leg so that the toes move down towards the ground just a touch more. Slowly draw the leg back to center. And we'll take the twist, so transfer the strap to the other hand. Extend your left arm out to the ground, heavy and soft. And then take that left leg across the body, stacking right hip underneath the left. Increase the stretch through the IT band by pressing out through the heel and then in the opposite direction with the hip. So hip back a little bit and heel forward. Let's draw the leg back up to center. Release the strap, you won't need it anymore, just set it off to the side. And then hug both knees up into the chest. Wind relieving on the left side. Extend right leg out. Hug the left knee up and in and around the rib cage towards the left armpit. Again, feel the breath move in and out through the belly and the belly press against the thigh. Good, release the leg, bend both knees, place both feet on the ground in preparation for Shavasana, final relaxation pose. Press some weight into the feet, lift the hips, and then very slowly and consciously roll the spine down, allowing the pelvis to rest down with ease. Don't move your hips at all, just extend the legs out one at a time. Arms by your sides, palms up. We'll spend a few minutes here resting together. Allow yourself to drop in. Soften the space between your eyebrows, the skin on your scalp. Release any tension from your ears. Let your jaw melt. Let your shoulders and hips be heavy. Internal organs relaxed. And then send a nurturing wave of relaxation. Tips of your toes and fingers. Find a little animation there as you start to move. Turn your head softly side to side. And now, in whatever way works for you, slowly and gently make your way up to a comfortable seat. So you might want to turn onto your side. I like to bring my knees up into the chest and rock up. Again, whatever works for you is just fine. Come into a comfortable seat. If you've got a block or something else you can sit up onto, please do. And we'll end our class today with some pranayama, some breathing, and a special mudra for the PMS time. So to begin our alternate nostril breath, bring your right hand up, fold your first two fingers into your palm. Take those last two fingers, ring finger and pinky finger, across your face to plug up the left nostril. Then inhale deeply through the right nostril. At the top of your breath, plug it up with a thumb, release the fingers, and exhale slowly through the left nostril. Inhale through the left. Always breathe with your breath pace, even if that doesn't match my cue. Plug with the fingers, release the thumb, and when you're ready, exhale through the right. Inhale right. Plug it with the thumb. Exhale left. That's the pattern. Inhale left. Plug, exhale right. One more round. Inhale right. Plug, exhale left. Inhale left. Plug, exhale right. At the end of that breath, release your right hand back down into your lap. Let your breath come back in free, light, and easy. Now we'll come into Pranidhana Mudra. So Take these middle finger and ring finger of both hands, middle finger and ring finger, and let it touch the thumb, making a little circle. With that, turn your palms up on your near your thighs and bring your first finger and middle finger to touch. So it looks like that. Making little circles, turning them upside down, touching each ring finger, middle index finger and little finger, excuse me. Then bring this hand mudra, this gesture, to float just above your navel area. Lengthen your spine, soften your shoulders. Soften the tips of your fingers as well. Feel free to close down your eyes again. And just let the essence of this mudra wash over you. This mudra, and really most of our session today, is about letting go. The apana vayu, the moving downwards and shedding of energy. So as you hold and breathe, start to imagine releasing anything that's not serving you. Let it melt down into the earth. Soften and let go. Let's take 3 more long, deep breaths. Emphasizing your exhalations once again. And then slide your palms to touch over your heart center. And we'll conclude this session together.